Hey, what's up everyone? MMA Analysis 101 here from MMASocials.com to give you UFC 129 predictions. I made a preview for UFC 129. If you want to see it, click right there, or continue the video. So, first fight of the night is going to be Mark Bokek versus Ben Henderson, and I'm gonna go right away to the prediction. I'm gonna go with Ben Henderson mainly because he's trained 5-round fights. He wants to win the lightweight title or get another title since he had a very hard fight or very tough fight with Anthony Pettis. So he wants to regain that might. And Mark Bokek is a good way to start off his road back to title contention. And Mark Bokek, even though at 9-3, he still can be considered a contender. I don't think he has the power and the will of Ben Henderson. So moving on. Next fight of the night is Vladimir Matyushenko versus Jason Brills. And now, Vladimir Matyushenko has fought, I think, 2 times, or I'm thinking right now, I think 2 times, maybe once after his loss to John Jones, the current UFC light heavyweight champion. And I think he wants to get back to title contention, and a good way to go is Jason Brills. And this will be not the most toughest fight of his life because Jason Brills hasn't fought since UFC 114, where he fought Antonio Rogero Nogueira and he lost to him by unanimous decision. But I still can't count him out, but I count Jason Brills out. I still think he can beat him, but I'm still gonna go with Vladimir Matyushenko, most likely a decision or a knockout. Third fight of the night. Randy Couture versus Lyoto Machida. And now this is the last fight of Randy Couture's career. That's what he says. We don't know yet. But I still think this is going to be his last fight of his career, and I think he wants to go out with style by defeating the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Lyoto Machida. But Lyoto Machida I think he's a lot more of a challenger to the title than Randy Couture. So I'm gonna go with Lyoto Machida. Because he's a hard guy to study, but since his last 2 fights he's lost, which I don't think he lost the Quentin Rampage Jackson fight, but his last 2 fights, people have been the last 2 opponents have been able to study him and learn how he fights. So it could be a way for Randy Couture to win this fight is if he studies him more. But I'm still gonna go with Lyoto Machida, most likely by a TKO or a knockout, somewhere around the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe the 1st. Moving on to the co-main event, Jose Aldo versus Mark Hominick for the UFC Featherweight Championship. Now, I'm obviously you all know I'm gonna go with Jose Aldo, because he's very young. He's 24, and he's heavy-handed. And Mark Hominick, even though Mark Hominick is pretty heavy-handed, I still think Jose Aldo would just dominate Mark Hominick. So I'm gonna go with Jose Aldo over Mark Hominick by a knockout or a TKO, because that's normally how Jose Aldo normally wins. All right, to the championship fight, the main event, UFC welterweight championship, George Rush St. Pierre versus Jake Shields. If you want to see a video, my good friend Carcino for Life had an interview with Jake Shields' manager, Jack Shields, and it's kind of like you can find out some info behind UFC 129 with Jake Shields. So click right there if you want to. So people think that this is GSP's biggest challenge. I'm gonna decline. I'm not gonna believe that. I think this is another easy fight because Jake Shields is a grappler and a bad stand-up. This is exactly what GSP wants. Jake Shields lacked the stand-up game, and he always has to go to the ground. All his fights have gone to the ground, and that's how he's won mostly of his last couple of wins. Of his last couple 5 fights, I think. But if you watch his last fight with Dan Henderson, his 2 fights ago, before he went to the UFC versus Dan Henderson, he almost got knocked out in the 1st round, and obviously he had to go to the ground, and that's how he was able to defeat Dan Henderson. That's a good example. So I think GSP most likely will strike with him and probably take him down and win by another decision. So I can't make Bellator predictions this week. Bellator isn't on this week. It's on next week, May 7th, I think. But I'm not going to be watching that. I'm going to be watching the Manny Pacquiao versus Shane Mosley fight. I'll see you guys later. Check out MMA Socialists, Facebook of MMA, and check out the other 2 videos. All right, peace.